July 11th, 2009, the Mandalay Bay Event Center in Las Vegas became the scene of arguably the most star-studded single event in UFC history, UFC 100. You want to know how stacked this card was? Brock Lesnar unified the heavyweight title with a win over Frank Mir in the main event. Georges St. Pierre defended his welterweight belt against Thiago Alves in the co-main. You know, that iconic Dan Henderson knockout of Michael Bisping? The one that would essentially become a personal logo for Henderson in later years? That was just another main card bout. And if that doesn't prove the point, consider this. Future light heavyweight great Jon Jones, he was on the prelims of this event. It all made for an exciting midsummer celebration of the best the UFC had to offer, and it was so fun that we all agreed not to even point out that UFC 100 was not the 100th UFC event. What made this event so special? Partly it was circumstance. Some key injuries to potential headliners led to the UFC having two different pay-per-view stars, Lesnar and GSP, available for this one event. The timing made sense since the UFC always loves to put its best foot forward somewhere around the 4th of July. The fights themselves also mostly delivered and in front of an audience said to surpass 1.5 million pay-per-view buyers. Even the UFC was feeling generous, handing out performance of the night bonuses worth $100,000 each. That's twice what they're worth now, 9 years later. In many ways, UFC 100 stood as a kind of high watermark for the UFC and MMA. It sold about 500,000 more pay-per-views than UFC 200, which lost its headliner the week of the event. It also brought together some of the biggest MMA stars of the day, guys who, if we're being honest, would probably still be considered the biggest stars of the day. It was a huge, blockbuster event, and it actually came off that way in practice, which you can't always say for MMA events. It was a night that was every bit as big as it was supposed to be. And so what if Lesnar ended it by yelling at the UFC's beer sponsor?